May all the energies make this work. Yeah, finally! Woo! You worked your magic, Shaman.
I mean, literally, I think my housekeeper unplugged one of the plugs where I had my phone, and I was like, oh, I have to charge my phone to get on this thing. I was so annoyed, but now I'm super happy.
I thought you weren't going to come. I thought you forgot and it was too
I
early
would
and you didn't
never
wake up.
forget about you. Come on. From the moment we connected, I knew that you and I had another life together and a connection. So I would never, I mean, come on, goddess. I'm going to bow to you.
Oh, thank you so much for accepting this invitation of being on Secrets of a Victorious Mind.
It's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure's all mine. So I had this lovely introduction to you, but I don't know whether you heard any of it.
I didn't because I was
You
trying to
did?
get my phone charged.
Okay, so when the final video goes up, then you're going to see how much love I have shown for my dear Shaman Durek. Okay, for now, I'm going to dive straight in because I know people have been waiting for the last few minutes. Please tell us all about shamanism and what is it being a shaman?
So shamanism is about relationship. It's about connecting into a deeper, profound place of how we operate as human beings. So shamanism is not a religion. A lot of times people think shamanism is a religion. It's not. Now, shamanic practices have been moved into religion because they had to hide it there in order to not be persecuted by certain Christian and Catholic authorities. However, shamanism at its core base is the relationship that we have with each other. So the relationship that you have with yourself, the relationship you have to food, relationship you have to your family, your community, to nature, to the elements, and to your ancestors. And that relationship is not based in, I'm doing this for you because I expect something in return. That relationship, is so pure because it operates from this pure love intention, which is my relationship with you is to connect with you because you exist. And that is how we connect into divinity. We connect into the divine. We connect into love. We connect into this higher level of consciousness. Because when we begin to realize as human beings that we all are existing to love one another, to pour into another person. We're not existing only to receive, but we're also existing to pour into a human being, as nature is existing to pour into us, as the air is existing to fill us so that we can live in these bodies. So everything has to be seen with such reverence and grace. And that is the core of shamanism. Now, the energies of how people use plant medicines and all these different things, those are small percentages of shamanism, but the core
Right.
energy of shamanism is relationship.
I see. And it's not communicating with the spirit world to use that for healing?
Of course, that's a part of the relationship. We have relationship to
Right.
everything. Relationship to the trees. I can talk to the trees. I can talk to your spirit. I can talk to your cells. I can talk to anything
Right.
because everything is living consciousness.
And what is this matrix that you always speak about? I mean, I know about it because I've read your book and I've been watching all your videos that I love. But for the people, what is the matrix and why are we all getting sucked into it?
So the matrix is a system that was built a long time ago based on hierarchy that is set up to make you a slave into a world that has told you from the moment you arrived that there's something wrong with you. So the moment you believe there's something wrong with you is the moment you start to attack yourself, you start to rip yourself apart, you start to judge yourself, you start to judge other people, and it puts you in a position that the value of who you are is antiquated by what you create, what you have, and who you are in society. It's not based on the fact that you exist. It's based on what you actually give to that system. So the understanding of the matrix is to take away the understanding of yourself as a quantum being, as this
Mm-hmm.
masterful, creative, powerful, sensual, playful being, and put you into a box so that you live out of that box, so that they know exactly what to have you buy, what to have you get involved in, so that they can keep your life on kind of a conveyor belt, that you're going down this conveyor belt, or should I say this very linear way of thinking, and you don't see the power of possibility that lives inside of you.
Right, right. Very interesting. You very beautifully said in your book about blackouts. you know, and I found that very, you know, it was uncanny because you've written the book way before the pandemic happened, and it's released way like a few months before. And it, when you read that page on blackouts, you're just like, oh my God, did Shaman know this was going to happen? And it says, I'm going to quote you, blackouts aren't anything new. They happen when a portion of the species, when the portion of the species go off the rails and veers so far out of alignment that they need to experience a quantum leap in awakening to restore harmony to themselves and to the planet. And so, if this pandemic is a blackout, and if it is an opportunity, and if we need to use it as an opportunity, I have 3 questions for you, and I'm going to put them in front of you before you start with the first one, because this is very interesting, and I don't want to miss out on both the others. So, okay, what do you think went wrong that we're having to go through this dark time, this blackout period? How do you think mankind created this blackout? 2, what is the best way
let's
for
go
us?
one at a time.
Okay, let's go one at a time. Right.
Okay. So the way that it's been created is that the moment we took the power out of women's hands, the moment we suppressed women, the moment we suppressed the feminine nature of creation, is the moment we actually created chaos. So if we look at life and we understand polarity, right? So everyone understands polarity by taking 2 energies and pitting them against each other. But the key element is that it doesn't exist. Those energies are actually causing a quantum relationship because we put it in our mind as such. So we create what we know as a quantum entanglement. When we create polarity, that one is over the other, we create what is known as a black hole. And that black hole sucks all the light into that hole. And then what happens, chaos surrounds that. And we begin to feel it in our relationships, how we interact with each other, how much tolerance and patience we have for each other, how much kindness and love and generosity we have for each other. And so all of these things actually are there to show us how to correct imbalance. But we have been an aggressive energy on planet Earth. We've been aggressive in the way that we treat people, how we treat nature, how we treat animals. We are intruding in other people's energy fields. We operate in this idea of thinking incorrectly about life. So we don't use our mind to elevate consciousness through our way that we speak in our lexicon, the way that we communicate to one another. We operate in this idea of wanting to dominate and control ourselves and create so much limitation that it actually makes the chaos bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger till we have wars, till we have racial issues, till we have men versus women, we have poverty, we have illness, we have disease. We create all of these disruptions because we're not willing to honor what God has already created for us. It's not that difficult to be on a planet, and that God laid everything out for us. And it's like, this is how the trees work. This is how the ocean works. Here's what the sun does. Here's what the moon does. Here's how you grow things. Here's how you take things. Here's how you eat things. And yet we're like, no, let's throw some chemicals. Let's fight women. Let's put more men in power with money and not so much women. So that creates an imbalance. Let's just go into every system and create an imbalance, and let's see what happens. And so what do? We create a high amount of chaos in the world. And that chaos needs a way to repair itself. Right. And so in order to repair itself, nature has to create something, spirit has to create something to get us to care again, to get us to look at the values of family, of love, of connection, of oneness, of touch, of intimacy, of real soul connection, of what's real versus what's not real. And all of the, mashallah, all of these things are so important because God's not going to do it for us. God's like, you have free will. You were given this beautiful paradise in which to live in, and you have decided to let yourself use your powers against yourself. So now you have to fix with love what you've created. But before you do, you have to see what it has done to the earth, what it has done to you individually, what it has done to others. So the blackout is a period of time where we get to course correct our consciousness to be able to make smarter, more defined choices that don't support us individually, but support us collectively.
Collectively. Mm-hmm. Right.
And
Yeah,
what
that
was your
was my
second question?
immediate. You already answered. That's what I wanted to tell you before, but never mind. It was it was individually, how do we reclaim it so that collectively, as an entire species, we all actually rise in this consciousness and, go back to feeling lit. So you've answered that. Now, the third one is something that really got me thinking while I was writing. Is there a time cycle that this blackout repeats itself in? Is it like, it's some memory floating in the universal consciousness that we are reliving, that we need to
Yes.
relive because we're not
So
learning our
we
lesson?
are, yes, absolutely. So we are in what is called a quantum cycle. So a quantum cycle means human beings don't dream greater than the circumstance. That means they see something in front of them and they accept this is what is. But they don't understand that what they see in front of them in their life, and what's happening and how much money they're making or whatever it is how they thought in the past. So when we understand that everything that's showing up right now is how we've been acting in the past, and what we do right now is what will be our future. It'll be our weeks, our months, our years to come. And so what's happening right now and what the blackout is teaching us, and the blackout is only going to go as long as is necessary for human beings to stop reacting with fear, because the fear is operating against us. It's a virus. It's a sickness. We think the
Yeah,
coronavirus is the real issue.
the virus is the fear.
It is not the issue. It is a manifestation of something deeper and darker that we as human beings need to let go of. It is the
Right.
fear. It's the constant fear, the inability to see through the lens of love. We say in shamanism, you live your life and there's a spirit that governs the way you think. Now you decide what that spirit is. Is the spirit
Who you
love?
elect? I saw your
That's right,
podcast.
the elect. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, I love you, darling. You got it. Yes, we have an elect spirit. And that spirit is either love, it's fear, it's joy, it's pleasure, it's bliss, it's healing, it's happiness, it's all of these things. So when we look at the world, we think we're looking with our minds. We're not. We're looking through spirits. And then whatever elect spirit we have put in front of us to show us what this world looks like is how we respond to this world. So if my elect spirit is love, every time I look at the world or listen to people talk to me or see what's going on, I'm always hearing love. I'm always returning to that space of love because that's how I see and experience the
It's
world.
like your filter, right?
It's your filter. Yes. Just like we do on these social medias, people put filters and things. That's because we do that in our spiritual body. So when we are actually looking at the world through fear, we then start to react with fear. And then fear gets into us and we become sick. We become spiritually sick. We start to share we start talking to people and we start speaking fear. Then we start infecting other people with this virus. And then the next person, and then the next person, and then the generations of family. And then it continues and continues and continues before everybody is infected with this nasty virus of fear. Now people cannot communicate. They cannot operate through their mindset. They're not able to activate the prefrontal lobe in the right way. They're not able to activate the amygdala in the right way. So they operate in this constant reaction, and that creates inflammation, breakdown of the cellular process, imbalance of the theta, delta, and alpha waves. It literally creates a vessel that is filled with poison. We have more free radicals, we get more affected by the world, our organs get more affected. It destroys life.
Right.
And everyone has to understand that the system enjoys this whole system that built this whole
drama.
hierarchy. They love when we're in fear. Because when we're in fear, they can get us to buy more things. They can get us to accept more things. Oh, it's okay. Let's put more violence on TV. They're going to love that because it's going to make them feel like they're releasing what they're feeling inside. We're going to give them we're going to put more things that are going to stimulate them away from love. We're gonna put more things in food, more chemicals, more this, more that. We're gonna create more wars and create more problems. So it brings up all the pain, hurt from the ancestral pain of racism and this and that and the other, when in truth, we are all God's children. So
True.
this blackout is not just the corona. I'm not a big person who writes books. I wrote one book in Turkish. It was years ago. It took me 2 years to write that book because I had to learn to speak Turkish to write the book. And I only write books, or I only put things out there when Spirit comes to me and says, you've got to do this. And Spirit came to me and said, there's a big thing coming, a big plague. There's race wars coming. There's government's going to be lying to people. All of these different things, you need to get the people prepared for what's about to come down on them. So I was like, what do you want me to do? You want me to write a book and tell them about these horrible things? No one's going to buy that book. And they're like, you're not here to question why we ask you to do things. It's a question of yes or no. If you don't do it, we'll have someone else do it.
That's why it's spirit hacking. It's giving you the solutions to all these problems, not just talking about the problem, but you've given very beautiful hacks in the whole book. Please continue.
I love you, darling. I love you, goddess.
Thank you. I love
you remember from the first time we connected, I've always called you goddess?
Yeah, I know. That's so sweet. You're too kind, Shaman. So with this whole fear depleting our good energies and making us feel, sick and having inflammation and all these problems, what is the best way of dispelling fear? Can you share like a coping mechanism that people, could stick with their power and stay connected to their higher sources?
Absolutely. So what I want you to do is I want you to think of something that you're afraid of. And everyone can do this exercise. Okay, tell me when you have it. So fear is basically information that is lacking higher intelligence. So all you have to do to dispel fear is to download higher intelligence into your being. So you have the thing you fear. Now say, download wisdom to dispel my fear in my body. Go ahead.
Download wisdom to dispel fear in my body.
Good. And then tell me when you feel that. Do you see what just happened? It couldn't stick to you, could it? No, because wisdom is the opening gate of all higher consciousness formulated for the purpose of dispelling anything that is nonsense and doesn't support the human development. So when we are operating in fear, we have to understand that fear is a virus. It needs to attach to you. And in order for something to attach to you, it needs your power. Oh, my Princess Marta is here, my girlfriend.
Hi, Martha.
She's pulling up my fear, so she thinks she's hilarious. Well, she is.
So for all those who don't know, he's engaged to the Princess of Norway, right? Am I right?
Well, I haven't engaged to her yet. I've been working on that for a couple of years, but she's there. But she knows that I definitely will be proposing. I will propose to her at some point, yes. When we get a chance.
Far away from each other, right?
She's there. She's here right now, listening to you. But the rest of the world will find out when we get engaged. But what she had said was, because I have a fear of polar bears, so she, because she likes to go up into the mountains on these big like sled expeditions and take people on these spiritual journeys and take people where there's polar bears. And I always make a joke that the polar bears don't eat you because you have light skin. They see me, they're like dark meat. They're like, I'm gonna get that one. I've never seen anything kind of like that before. So it's all my joke I always make with her is like, I'm not going there. They're gonna see me as they're gonna be like, who is this fresh meat? But yeah, no, she's here. But so I was saying about fear is that when we are operating in fear, that means that what? Like a virus, our body has to be susceptible to pathogens. It has to be acceptable to viruses, to bacteria, to these types of things. These things cannot happen when our immune system is strong, when our emotional disposition is strong, and when our mental acuity is strong. That means what? We say in African wisdom that when the body and the spirit is fortified, it is very likely, if not at all, that people will be susceptible to these types of energies. But when the mind, when the emotions, when the body, when the spirit is not in harmony, then these is when the entities can come in. This is when sickness can come in. This is when pathogens can come in. This is when bacteria and all of these things can come in. And so what happens is we create this energy in our beings, and then we actually are already breaking our system down. So fear and viruses and all of these things look for bodies that are weakened in them system, not just in the immune system, but in your spiritual immune system. The way you think, the way you look at the world, the way you talk to people. How much poison do you take from people when they tell you their horrible stories? Are you taking in those energies? Because if you are, it's weakening your spiritual immune system. You don't just, everything you have on the physical, you have on the emotional, you have on the mental, and you have on the spiritual. Biggest reason why people suffer, why they go through pain, why they go through loss financially, why they go through breakups and relationships and so forth, is because at some level, one of those four pillars have been infected with a virus. And that is the key element to creating homeostasis in the body. So when we look at that, we understand that all neurological dysfunctions, all energies that are affecting our system on both a unilateral level and on a deeper level, which is operating within our systemic system, that's happening within the way in which we are dealing with our systems, how we eat, how we talk, who we hang out with, and why, are all being affected by how we associate ourselves in those four pillars. And so fear can't come in when you have great wisdom downloading into your being, because it's like a repellent. Fear can't hold on to you because you're not putting your mind on the fear. That's the biggest thing. And I want to share this with you because I know you have more questions. The biggest issue that people have is that they spend more time holding on to the poison and the viruses instead of letting them go, because they keep thinking about it, feeling it, talking about it, and sharing it.
I think people need to be more conscious with their conversations, because, you know, you unconsciously you start saying the same thing when someone's talking about something. It's a conversation. So you just want to also impart, and you're not conscious about, oh my God, this is my diet for my mind, you know, because we actually choose what we want to eat. We're not going to pick up stones and, you know, bad stuff and put it in the mouth. But when people are talking to us, we're taking all that stuff in without really choosing, okay, no, this is not good food. This is like crap. These are stones going in. So I need to stop this diet. So they're more conscious, then they won't take this stuff in. So I've been asking almost everybody that comes on this, you know, chat series as to what is your way of, you know, actually protecting yourself when this kind of negative conversations happening. Sometimes it's very rude, you know, to say, look, really, I don't want to talk about this. Can we please change the topic? You know, I am an empath. And even if you're not an empath, how do you actually deal with the situation without being mean and then, look, I don't want drama, just like, talk about something else. You can't do that, right? So how do you handle it, Shaman?
So the first thing I do is, one, I don't really care how people respond to me honoring myself. If me honoring myself is telling you that your conversation is poisonous, it's sucking life out of us, it's not giving us prosperity, it's not giving us life, it's not bringing us new possibilities in our mind so that we can expand that. Because the key element is to amplify into this world, to model love, to model prosperity, to model health, to model beauty, to model all of these beautiful essences that we have already in us. So I'm not going to worry about if someone is uncomfortable, because I then realize in that moment, and this is something I had to learn at a very young age, in that moment, I'm creating change. Because people who are uncomfortable with being able to amplify into a greater space of communication and love and connection and relationship, that means that if I make them get scared, or if they start shaking, or if they start feeling like I'm being rude, then so be it. Let my rudeness come with compassion and kindness to you.
I love it.
You know, it's because we cannot
I wish
walk.
everybody was as bold as you, Shaman. You can get away with it with your personality. You can carry it off. But if someone's going to be like, whoa, I don't know how people are going to do that. Anyways,
Darling,
Yeah.
if I was in India and someone had a problem with it, then they started getting upset, I would just get up and start dancing. I would just be like,
They think you're insensitive, Shaman. Be like, look, I'm talking about the problems that I'm going through and, everything that's happening and you're dancing. I mean, what kind of an insensitive human being are you? People react, and they're so judgmental. It's difficult
great, let them
sometimes to hold
judge.
your stand.
Let them judge, though. See, when people judge and when people act in that way, my darling, they're releasing poison. They're releasing the illness inside of them. I always say a person in life who is doing something that makes people uncomfortable is actually a gateway from God to show us how to get to another dimension. It is like a
Right.
blessing. So like literally when I see people like just being free and so forth, I want to bring them flowers. I want to lay things in front of them and say, thank you. Thank you for showing us the way. Because we cannot continue to look at the many ways that God in creation is showing us ways to get out of our cage. And we keep looking for ways to find keys to lock us back into our cage because it makes us uncomfortable. Well, welcome to planet Earth. This isn't a place of comfortability. This is a place of growth, refinement, joy, laughter, elation. It's whatever you want it to be. So if people are uncomfortable with me, I'm like, then be uncomfortable. I was created that way. I was created to make you uncomfortable. Thank you, God. I love you.
Fantastic. Okay, coming next, I have this question that has been something that like a dilemma that, I'm always bouncing back and forth. On one hand, I always believe that we create our reality, with our thoughts, our actions, our conversations, what we watch, and of course, our karma, right? And on the other hand, I feel that it's all destiny, because you don't choose when you're born, to whom you're born, and when you die, how you die. These two things I feel are like destiny, and maybe in between there's creation. Or is it a combination? And then there's this third angle, which is my life is affected by what you're doing in a different part of the world, which you very beautifully in your book described as the butterfly effect. And so I want to quote you, where you speak about the food insecurity in Yemen affects people in Buenos Aires. Poverty in Somalia generates lack consciousness in Eco Park. It's the same energetic frequency. So our financial freedom in Toronto translates to good fortune for someone in Bombay. So if each one of us has been or will be each one of us at some time, either in the past, present, or future, which one of these is really affecting us the most? Is it our actions? So I'll say, are we the creators solely? Number one, is destiny pre-written, or are we subliminally operating through this butterfly effect where we are all affecting each other's reality?
So yes, so the butterfly effect is real. And that's why when people say to me, oh, Shaman Durek, I've healed myself. I'm completely healed. I'm like, no, darling, you are not completely healed. You are not healed until one person is off the street who can eat, who is healed. We are not healed until our brothers and sisters are healed. We are not on this planet to reach some goal destination like we're running on track and field to get the medal of the Olympics, to get to some finish line. We're not here for a finish line. We are here to invoke change through our interaction with one another. So I came here, I'll give you an example. Before I came to Earth, I had a list of parents that were given to me that I could have chose to be their baby. I was also given if I wanted to be a male or female, or if I wanted to be born here or there. And I chose my family according to...
Is that because you're a shaman? Because you're born into the family of shamans?
Everybody chooses.
Really?
They choose you and you choose them. Yes.
Okay.
And so basically, I chose my family because I knew that they were the exact family that I needed to be able to bring my powers from my other lifetimes into this embodiment, and that they had the certain bloodline and the ancestral line that I needed to be able to activate what I came to do. I knew that they were going to be the right amount of abuse in my life. I know that by choosing them, they would disregard things happening in their environment, which would cause me to get molested by my male babysitter. It would have caused me to go through physical and emotional abuse. It would have caused me to become an alcoholic and a drug addict, and all the things that I needed to go through in order to lift humanity out of darkness. So I choose them well. And so the great thing about it is, like, when my father was beating me down on the floor and hitting me, I remember looking up at him and saying, thank you, because I know that I needed to experience this level of abuse so that I can understand how to undo it. But I cannot undo it if I'm not willing to allow myself as a spiritual master to come into an embodiment and feel what human beings go through on earth and lift it out of darkness and into wisdom, into light, into love, into consciousness. So again, I'm not here to say, oh, woe is my life, woe is me, oh, poor me, because that goes against me understanding the definition, as you would say, karma. It's not for me to wallow and be miserable. I didn't come here to planet Earth to be miserable. I came here to experience a certain level of suffering that human beings go through so I can understand what it is and then transform it and bring it into love and healing and grace and beauty and kindness and generosity and wisdom and art and dance and sensuality and sexuality and freedom. And this gives me the ability to transform this planet from the inside out, so that I'm no longer a victim, but I am now a participating master of energy and awareness. And I take full responsibility in activating that consciousness for the collective. It is not an individual me, 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 me. I suffered not just for myself, but for the people's liberation. And so every time we go through something difficult, we are not to think we are alone. We are to know that there are masters and angels and beings and there who are there. Like a friend of mine the other day, I was talking to her and I said, darling, you need to realize that Lakshmi has been with you the whole entire time through this experience. And then she started crying, and Lakshmi came to her in a vision for 4 nights, telling her, I've been here with this journey with you so that you can transmute this energy into abundance and prosperity and happiness and joy and pleasure and bliss. Why? Why do we hold on to act as if we are these victims who've been left by God on a planet to suffer? No, 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 my dears.
That's very empowering to know.
Yes.
We have that support.
The support is beyond anything we could ever imagine. But the thing is, the reason why the people don't allow that is because human beings have this very righteous need and pride to make that they have to do it by themselves. So they don't allow themselves to do it. You know, if I was to look at like things that Jesus Christ said, Jesus said, you shall do greater things than I. When I talk to my religious Christian friends, I said, well, you know, I'm a shaman. We don't get involved in religion because we know that there's all these indoctrinations in it that shamans don't participate in, but we participate in love. And so Jesus was about love. So I'm going to participate in love. Allah and Aleve and Fatma, they were about love. So I'm going to participate in love. You know, Buddhic consciousness in the core energy of Buddhism is about love. So I'm going to participate in love. I'm not going to participate in your human ideas of what you think love is, other than the formation of what pure love is. And that means what? That I asked my Christian friends, did you not read the Bible? Because I did. And I read the Quran. And I read a lot of books, and I had it translated to me too. And let me explain to you, it's Jesus said, you shall do greater things than I. Greater things than I. Walked on water, healed the sick. Jesus did all of these things. What are you doing?
Right.
They're like,
have you ever read the Bhagavad Gita, Shaman?
Oh, the Bhagavad Gita? Of course. Are you kidding? I read that when I was a kid, like 25 times. Right. And Krishna and the whole thing. Yes, and I love it. And I love it. And Brahma and the whole thing. And let's even just go off the energy of Brahma. Okay, let's just take that.
Creator, yeah.
The energy of Brahma is always present. It never goes away. But your ability to connect into it is the difference if you allow it to come into your being or you don't.
Right. You so basically I want to know which one of these three do you feel all three of them affect us? What we do, what we create, our destiny, and this butterfly effect, or is it just the butterfly effect that is the strongest and the other two are lesser?
Every time I open my mouth, if I don't speak love, the world suffers. Every time I see a person starving and I don't go to give them food, the world is suffering. Every time I think in lack consciousness, in scarcity, and I'm not going to have enough money, the world suffers. The
Right,
more I'm able to step into a place of thinking abundantly and prosperously, I'm helping a family across the sea and another country change their views. Every
right.
time I'm willing to transfer my abuse into lessons of wisdom, joy, and grace, I am healing other people from the traumas that they have gone through. Every time
Mm,
I take care of myself, get my massages, meditate, eat healthy food, smile, be a kid, dance around the house and sing Disney songs, the more I am sharing a message with someone across the sea, across the country, in the same city, that freedom does exist and that self-care is important. And then it all is shared consciousness. We human beings have to understand something. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what your sexual preference is. It doesn't matter if you're man or female. It doesn't matter if you are believing this religion or that religion. It doesn't matter. To God, it means absolutely nothing. What matters is one thing, and that is, are you bringing you as a child of creation into this world for the sake of creation? You were created.
beautiful.
Everything that's created has purpose. So when you speak with love, you are
Mm,
saying to God and you are saying to the world, you are saying to the animals, you are saying to nature, I recognize your existence.
mm, right, right. So I think destiny plays a very little part in this. It's more about
Destiny
how we
is carved
create.
out by you.
You
It's
carve
carved
it. It's
out
in
by
your
you.
hands, that means. Okay. So now my dilemma is solved. Okay. And what about, the people in India, not only people in India, people all over the world have gone through financial losses and businesses have shut down. It's slowed down, if not shut down. And it's been very, very difficult for everybody around the world. And you speak very beautifully on the energy of currency. So I would like you to talk more on that because I want people to know how they can attract that abundance of wealth in their life and prosperity when everything seems to be shut down.
So the thing we have to understand, and when it comes to activating the awareness of prosperity, awareness of abundance, the awareness of currency, is our relationship to the spirit of abundance, the spirit of prosperity, the spirit of currency. I have seen in Los Angeles, I'll give you an example, for instance, there was a whole real estate crash, okay? I
Mm-hmm.
had three friends who came to me. They said,
Mm-hmm.
Shaman Durek, I can't afford not being able to make money doing real estate. Everything is going down. There's no way to make money anymore. I said, I see. And I said, do you believe this to be true? Is this your belief? Is this your mindset for what is and what shall be? They said to me, well, this is what is happening to everyone. So it's obviously going to affect me. I said, then you have already lost, and you have already lost everything because you
Mm-hmm.
have chosen to align yourself with lack and limitation and scarcity. You have the capability to rise out of this situation, but your mindset, I tell you, must be in alignment with that which is to be held in the highest light of truth. That everyone has an example every single day to choose what their mindset is going to be. You could live your life thinking the worst things are going to happen to you, and they will. You could live your life thinking that you're not going to be able to succeed in something, and you won't. You could be a person who brings two mindsets. You may say, well, what if I fail and what if I succeed? That means you haven't made up your mind yet with creation. The understanding of the proclamation of word and spirit must be adhered to the same understanding of that which you see and believe as truth.
In
Human beings
sync.
understand that the whole idea of the abracadabra, the manifestation, the ability to change the direction and course of their life is not dependent on how good they are or how many times they did charity drives or how many of these things they do. It's based upon how you align with spirit, how you align with truth. Every truth exists in this world. There is people's truth that believe that they'll never make it out of poverty. That's a truth for them, and that's what they align to. Then there are truths in this world that say, no, you will always be out of their prosperity, will always be with you, and they align to that truth. The difference is, when I told this to my friends, they sat in front of me and they said, wow, that gives me a different perspective. And then one of my friends fully aligned into that place, and the whole real estate crashed, but she didn't. She thrived.
How did she align?
She just simply made a decision that I am not buying into the nonsense of this fear of what is being shown in front of me. I am the co-creator of this life. I am the one who makes a decision about what is up and what is down. I am the one. Nothing has the power.
But were there some meditations or affirmations, or was it, what was the action actually? Because telling myself, I believe that I'm a very abundant, rich being.
No, you have
every
to
day.
shift your energy to the spirit. Watch. Let's do it. Ready? Let's do a quick exercise. Say, spirit of money.
Spirit of money.
What's my relationship like with you?
What's my relationship like with you? Fantastic. I just got an answer.
Okay. Say, could we have a greater relationship?
Could we have a greater relationship?
What does it say?
Yeah.
And say, in order to have that greater relationship, what do I need to do?
In order to have that greater relationship, what do I need to do?
Did you hear what it said?
Yes.
What did it say?
You got to work harder at serving at what you're best at.
That's what you heard?
Yeah.
You know what I heard?
What did you hear?
I heard that you need to stop focusing on working so hard, because that's your father's program, and that you have to step into having more fun in everything that you do and not let go of the joy. Because when you created anything in life, you did it from playfulness. When you started making things hard, that's when things would slow down. And so what Spirit said to you is, if you want to create more, you need to have more fun in bringing that little girl that used to always dream and sing and be free in herself, that little girl that loved the arts and loved people's movements and loved music and loved all those things, the beauty of flowers blooming, the energy of when the sky comes up, that little girl who's that dreamer needs to be a part of everything you do. For you
My mom just messaged as well. She said, yeah, you need to let your hair down.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And so so watch, say, the voice that gave me that answer, are you my ego?
Are you my ego? Maybe.
Say, did I say maybe because I don't want to say yes to accept your truth?
Did I say maybe because I don't want to accept your truth? Maybe.
See? To see why I'm saying maybe? It may be my comfort zone than choosing my power.
Sorry?
Say, is maybe my comfort zone
Is maybe my comfort zone
than choosing my power and my throne.
than choosing my power.
So do you see what's happening? Right now, there's two things happening. Do I want this to be on my live? Do I want to connect into this energy? Two parts of your being are having a conversation right now, is how much vulnerability do I want to have, and how much am I willing to step into that place of power? Everyone on this thing does that.
So me versus my higher spirit? Who is this person I'm talking to? Is it my higher spirit, or is it my ancestral spirits talking to me? What is it? Where are these messages
speaking
coming
to you
from?
are the many spirits of your being. Your ego is a spirit. Your shadow is a spirit. The little girl is a spirit. She's your soul. All of them are in this beautiful council that are there to help you to get into a space where you transcend all aspects of yourself into a place of love. I get into that place too. Sometimes I'll hear this, but it's because that's my ego. So I'll always ask, are you my ego? It says yes. Okay, why? Well, this is the belief you told me to follow to keep you safe. Do you want to change it? I'm like, yes, I do want to change it. Great. What do you want to change it to? I want to change it that money never constantly flows in my life, that I'm able there to fill up people's lives. I'm able to pour in people financially. I'm able to support people's dreams. I'm able to support my own dream. And I'm able to be a good father to my children. I'm able to be a good man to my woman. I'm able to be a good human being to everyone. And then it says, okay, God, let's change it. But if we continue to operate in this idea that we're all alone in this journey, and we are not a governing aspect of many spirits that are in counsel with us every single day, then we continue to feel alone. Loneliness is not real. It is created out of the idea of not seeing one's truth or self and understanding that God and spirit are always present with you.
Right. Right. Last question for today. What is your secret of a victorious mind?
My secret to a victorious mind is always being in a space where I'm able to know that the process of journey and healing and connection and deeper levels of respect for myself, deeper levels of transparency for myself is me every day, not beating up on myself, not getting mad at myself, but being a gentle lover to myself so that I am able to see the places that need refinement through love inside of me. The more I refine that love inside of me, the sharper, more expansive my mind becomes. The more I'm able to become more present in people's lives, to be able to help more, to give more, to receive more. And so my mind become optimized. I optimize my brain and I use a lot of the spirit hacks to do it. I use a lot of the stuff I write in the book that I wrote. I spend a lot of time being in nature, being with children, being with spirits, and being with women, because women are able to see quantumly. So when I speak with women, the more I speak with women, the more I'm able to step out of that masculine structure and get more into a quantum structure of seeing the people and then seeing how I can be of service to the people.
Right. Beautiful, Shaman. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the audiences?
Yes. My darlings, we are at the beginning stage of this blackout. What we are experiencing right now on the world is a small fragment of what is coming our way if we are not to come together and start loving each other, not from a place of I love you because you do something for me, or I love you because you are someone in public, but I love you because you exist. We have the capability to move through all triumphs that is thrown at us and be able to transform the darkness into the light by our reactions and the way we show up for ourselves and for each other. What the system has planned for us in the future is far more greater than what we are experiencing right now. But if we are to really move through these times with victory and power, we must utilize this as an opportunity to see a greater self, to not see this as a beating or as a punishment or an idea of suffering, but an idea to respond to love in a greater way, to be able to dismantle fear as an opposing entity and make it an ally to creating true change on the planet. We all have this capability. Each and every person who is here on this live is powerful, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be created. And nothing is created unless it has purpose. And you have purpose. I love you all so much. And I am your colleague. I am not above you. I am next to you, standing with you, walking side by side, looking at you and knowing that you are powerful. And we can do this not alone. However, we can do it together. That is my message and my words for you today. And I love you, oh, so much. I just put my arms around you, kiss your face. It's just like, oh, it's so yummy. And just be in this space of joy for your creation. And that one day we will return to home, to heaven, and we will dance and we will celebrate and we will fly and we will play and swim and do all the things that we do in heaven. And remember that we all made a choice to come here at this opportune time in our evolution for this planet to share with our love with each other. And we will laugh and remember, oh my goodness, that was amazing. Let's go to another planet and help them as well. We are powerful. Never forget that.
Do you see this blackout ending soon, Shaman? From your
Yes, so I was told by the spirits that it will end the blackout. This is the first stage of the blackout. There's 12 stages. So we are the first stage. So the first stage represents the race wars, the plague, and the great lie. So those are that's what I talk about in the book. So the first stages are the blackout, which we're going to, everyone gets shut down around the world. The race wars, which I talk about in the book. And then the lie, where I said, don't trust your government because they're in cahoots with each other. Once those stages have ended, then we go into what we call a grace period of five to 6 years of the awakening stage. The awakening stage is literally the place where we actually realize that we've been lied to, we've been manipulated, we have been put into boxes and corralled like sheep around and told all these things that we were not meant to be told because we have inner intuition. Once we operate out of that stage, the system will throw something at us again. But if we operate in that 5-6 year period in the right way, whatever they throw at us, we're not going to accept. And all of us together collectively are going to stop rising up and becoming the new leaders, the new Gandhis, the new Martin Luther Kings, the new Nelson Mandelas, the new people in the world who are in the world. However you want, whoever you want to believe it was a leader at our time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Gandhi or Martin Luther King. It can be anyone you saw. It could be an artist, could be a painter, could be a musician. Those are leaders. Anyone who's willing to bring a new message to the world will rise up and stand against this tyranny. And those people will become the next masters that lead people into their true mastery. So they're considered the first of the ascension. So the first of the ascension, and then the second ascension will be those who see what they do, and then they will follow suit after. And then there will be the third wave of ascension, and then they will see how easy it was for them to maneuver into that space. And then that's the fourth wave of ascension. And by that time, a huge portion of the planet will have shifted over to light consciousness. And the ones who are still dawdling in pain and fear and suffering will just come along with everyone because they'll see that the majority of the planet seeks to be conscious. And so that's what's happening. So it's great.
How many years do you think? Do you have a number?
Yes. So so the period of us. Now, remember, it's not written in stone until we actually do it, but we are starting to do it. And that is already starting. And it's so the end of the first stage of the blackout, which is the plague, ends next year towards around summertime, around fall. And then we go into the grace period. And the grace period is the rebuilding of life, rebuilding of families, rebuilding of friends, rebuilding of cities. And then we step into the space of recollecting ourselves and going like, what did we just go through? And how are we going to stop it from happening again? And so this is where we get to see who the leaders are going to be in the first round of the first wave of ascension.
Wow. Thank you so much, Shaman. You've been so kind and so lovely. Lots and lots of love to you. Thank you for all the lovely wisdom that you've shared. I'm sure all of them have learned so much. Please follow Shaman. Go get his book, Spirit Hacking. It's online. You can get the ebook like I read. I don't know if I can show you the cover, but it's a beautiful book. And apart from that, yeah, go get him, connect with him at Shaman Durek. And he also has a website, shamandurek.com, right?
Yes.
That's
you can
book.
go to, yeah. Right. Did you get the audio version?
No, I actually read it, the ebook.
Oh, you did the ebook. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and because we were short of time, I didn't talk about it, but I love the incident where you spoke about victimhood to victory, about Jane, about the whole stabbing thing, and you know how she learned jujitsu and kind of took it on herself to teach women how to protect themselves, and it became a big thing. So she blessed the person who actually stabbed her, which was beautiful.
She's an
Anyway, so
amazing
all of
woman, amazing woman. And yes, it's what I think is wonderful too. Also, people, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is
yes,
Shaman Durek, and we have a series called the Be Your Own Damn Guru series, which teaches you how to step into your own guruism, so that you're not looking up to someone, but you're looking to yourself. And also you can go to the Shaman School at shamandurek.com, and you can check out some of the classes we have on, getting into the things that we talked about today, and really
absolutely.
being able to recognize that you are the power, you are the love, you're the grace, you're the beauty, you're the joy, you're the prosperity, you're the everything. And really important for us to remember that we need each other. I need you. We need each other. And I'm so happy. And I give you all such a big hug around the world. And I love you. I can't wait so that me and Princess Marta can be with you and spend time with you.
I can't wait. Please, please come to Australia. I'm in Perth, Western Australia. You're always welcome, Shaman and Martha, both of you. See you. Have a great day ahead. Thank you, everybody, for joining with us. We've thoroughly enjoyed this live chat, and I'm sure you've taken a lot from it. Until I see you next time, which is on the 5th of June with PK Shivani. Yes. Thank you, everybody.
Mwah.
Love you all.
Love
See ya.
you.
Bye.
Bye.